We're just about ready, guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy yourselves.
There are 36 drivers in here from my gallery. So can I have on track, we'll do it a little bit differently for this one just because of the numbers. We're going to have Henry Drury, Stefan Kurzman, Robert Odden, Simon Dodd, Martin Sonderman, Simon Marshall, Sebastian Ryan, Martin Devlin and Matthew Eatrick and Chris Miles, please. So you boys, do your lap.
Look at that pretty car. It is press day at the Racing Sim Rigs World Series. Absolutely glad you can join us for the screamer of an engine, that is. And he's just on a big skid. Welcome, guys. Welcome, every single one of yous. We've got people piling in on the Radiant TV stream. That's absolutely brilliant to see. It is press day at Brands Hatch Grand Prix layout. It's the season 1 of 2020 for the Racing Sim Rigs World Series. The RSRWS is brought to you by... Drum roll, please. It is sponsored by the Racing Sim Rigs company, and their motto is always bringing the racing home to you guys. They are sponsoring these prizes for this this season, and the big two are, well, two literal sim rigs made out of 80/20 aluminium. The best way to describe it is aluminium parts, really. And for two lucky drivers, they'll own two brand new GT1 layout sim rigs. So if you wish, well, you can't really do it now, but you can wish your friends a good luck if they are racing in this series. As always, and for, I think, the greatest time so far, we're joined by Mr. Craig King. Craig, how are we?
Good evening. The greatest time ever? I feel a little bit honoured here. Why is it so great? I mean, this is fantastic to see GT3 cars around Brands Hatch. It just feels right. And I mean, it is so nice to hear that Audi. To hear that Audi go around here, it's so nice to hear the fire come out of the McLaren. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. It's going to be a fun night, I think. It's going to be a fun series as well. All the prizes, all the categories. We've got the GT3 Pros, we've got the GT3 AMs. It's just going to be great.
What's your favourite moment of Brands Hatch in the past, or in the present, really? They still race here, don't they, in the GT3s, in Blanc Paul?
I believe they do, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a GT3 memory, but I must admit, having the Indy cars come around Brands Hatch, albeit on a smaller layout, was really cool just to see that bit of international flavour years and years ago. But Brands Hatch is a very popular track for British racing. You know, I think there was a quote, why upgrade Silverstone when we've got Brands Hatch? It's just perfect. It's I think it's more of a mecca for the lower ranks of British racing than Silverstone. I think you got a lot more action here. I think the women's Formula W last year had their final race weekend and had 2 cracking races down here. So it just shows that this really it looks. When you look at a track map, you're thinking, well, that looks pretty fast. That looks pretty basic. Oh, get to the corners, and it is totally different. You try taking some speed around Paddock Hill. It's fantastic. You go around 13th. The corner, which if you've ever done Gran Turismo Sport, it's one of your training missions in the school, just because of the fact that it's a blind apex. It's almost like a double apex, so it's beautiful. Then one of my favourite corners, the favourite combinations, Sheens into Stirling, just before you come to the end of the track before Clark. Fantastic combination there. You can really put the car in there and you can go for it through Sheens, and then you've just got to hold on to that little dip there at Stirling and just get the right time on the throttle. It's a fantastic track.
And I should explain that there is a peculiar setup to the classes here. All classes have access to 6 cars, so all of the GT3 cars are available for all classes to use, but there are 2 classes. They are split into Pro and into Am. So if I just do some magic, bang, you can see the 9 drivers that have qualified, and they all have different colors. Orange is for amateur drivers who have met the prerequisites for being an Am, and for Pro who have qualified as Pro drivers. Now, let's have a look at what they've done so far. On the top step is Chris Miles with a 125.483, Sebastian Rain with a 126.1, Matt Heatrick with a 126.6, Simon Marshall with a 126.7, Martin Devlin with a 127.297, Stefan Kurzman with a 127. Oh, he's just been pipped by... We just had a message from the race control. We should actually give him a shout out, by the way. He is the head guy of this entire series. Special shout out to Harry Wills, who set this whole thing up and asked us very politely to be commentators and broadcasters for the series, and we're absolutely happy to, and very excited to be broadcasting this. It does seem like a really cracking good time. So the top 10 so far are we'll continue on with Martin Devlin, who pipped Stefan Kurzman. Martin did a 127.297. Stefan Kurzman did a 127.3. Robert Odoms, a 127.304. Simon Dodd, a 128.158. And Marcus Sonderman, a 128.346.
Yep, they're just so that people know, they're going out in groups. So we have a bumper field here. I think it's about 30 cars, just over 30 cars. So they're going out in little groups at the moment. You may see some of them at the moment. I'm looking at car number 3, the amateur driver for Twisted Racing Team, Casper Johansson. He's got some action in front of him with Josh Seymour, also of Twisted. So it's a Twisted guys as well. Jack Hills is in front of them as well. So they're going out into groups and setting their times. So some of them may get the Monza treatment, may get the slipstream, but that's not what we were looking for here at the moment. We're just looking to see as well. We've got James Costa as well, the number 4 car in the Jack Hammer team, and Adam Miles. Adam Miles and Jack Wells are, I think, the only 2 pro drivers at the moment that are out on the track. So now, it doesn't mean that the pro drivers are going to be the fastest. We've seen that. Martin Devlin is currently at P6. Sebastian Ryan, is P2, but we will not see them at the top. But that doesn't mean, they're not pro. It's just the fact that everybody is a different style, and the pros have got their prerequisites, and so is the amateurs. So they are fighting 2 different categories, but they're also fighting against each other on the track, but not fighting in literal sense. You're not going to see an amateur driver go head-to-head against a pro driver, because they're both going to be fighting for no reason per se. So that is what we're looking at here. We've seen a couple of times coming in. It's just a slow lap at the moment for the drivers. Matt Stump took a 142.010. Obviously, that would be a warm-up lap for him going for his next time. And everybody else at the moment, you'll see Casper Hansen with almost a 4 minutes, with Josh Seymour and Jack Hills over 4 minutes. So just keep an eye on these times at the moment, as they will start trickling in.
We're just got the cameras pointed at Car Jackalet with he's part of the AM class at the moment, and he's just going around into, it's just coming back past the Advent Yokohama sponsorship bridge, coming onto the final turn onto, well, it's I want to call it the start finish straight, but it's not a straight, it's a bend.
Well, it's called the Brabham Straight. As everyone knows, Brands Hatch has a great history of driver names for their corners. So as we keep with Carl at the moment, coming down Paddock Hill Bend. Let's just keep on track from the moment. Just watch him as the moment. He comes down into Pilgrim's Ride and now into the hairpin of Druids. A very slow hairpin, very sharp, beautiful. Comes down here into the Graham Hill Bend. Just watch it. There are versions of the track that does have a bit of run up. There's your run up there. Up to the down into the Cooper Straight into Surtees. This was almost a double apex I was talking about. Look how wide you get, and then foot on the accelerator as you come to the end of the corner. Down into Pilgrim's Drop, not Pilgrim's Rise. We've had the rise, now we're into the drop under this lovely bridge. This is a really small straight, doesn't get a lot of love. Into Hawthorne. Hawthorne, you drop a gear, maybe two. Into Derek Minter Straight. Into Westfield now. And Westfield again, you'll drop another gear, take the runoff curves on the inside if you can. Down into, this is Westfield into Dingle Dell, and this is Sheens. This is the bit I love of the track. Here's Sheens, just high speed there, braking hard at the 50 there as you hit into Stirling. Down we go now to the Advent Bridge, if you're calling this is Clearways, onto the Clark curve at the end there. Again, brake at 50. Watch your moment when the curve gets a bit thinner. Hit the accelerator. That is a lap of the track there as we come back onto the Brabham Straight. We will try our best to name every corner as we can, but for Lucky, that is a 1:26.249, good enough for 9th.
That's a very respectable time coming from an amateur, and as he pulls off to the side of the road, he's done his 2 laps. I should also mention you have 2 laps to do, so you have your out lap. As you can see, the drivers are all lining up ready to go. The race control will call them by number, and they will get onto the track and do their laps. And they have only 2 laps to do it, and they have to pull very quickly off
the track. So we will see the next bunch of people at the moment. At the front is the number 22 of Ben Smith. Behind him is the 18 of James Pearce. The 14 of Andrew Miller. The 36 of Isaac Barkley. The 88 of Marius Hanke. The 15 of Chris Hammer. And the 72 of Carl Gray. And it's great to see. It's a mixture of McLarens, it's a mixture of Ferraris, and I see an Audi as well. So it's a nice little mixture here.
Do you know what I'm not seeing? The curse.
You're gonna say it. You're gonna say the Ford. Yeah, you're gonna say the Ford. I mean, this isn't the Ford GT2 that if you follow us on a Sunday night when we do the Fanatec GT1 challenge, it's not the GT2, it's the GT3. And if I remember correctly, that's the worst of the 2. So
oh, no, they fixed that one. No, they fixed that one. It's now the other way around.
Oh, so it's people. The GT2 that... Oh, wow.
They fixed the GT3 so that it no longer bounces like a bouncy castle, and now the GT2 bounces like a bouncy castle according to people who drive it.
Okay. That was weird. I did not realise that. That's I got my facts wrong. So okay, fair enough. But it's nice just to see a mixture. I mean, it's also nice just seeing the McLaren out. I mean, everyone loves the Flamer-Mobile. As Marius there for Manti Racing. Is it Manti Racing? Is it Manti Team? I can't remember what it's always called. I think it is Manti Racing. In that lovely Ferrari. I've always loved the Manti liveries, I've got to be honest. They're just so... It's so nice to see. It's almost like a British race... Is it a British Racing green on that McLaren? It almost is, I think. With the black, it's just a nice combination, and actually works really well on the McLaren.
By the way, Craig, you've been getting something wrong. It's Manatee, not Manatee.
Oh, it's Manatee. Okay,
yeah,
so
Manatee.
I've always read it as Manti. When I see the liveries when I'm in races, I think it's Manti. No, it's Manatee. Okay, fair enough. I will be corrected. Like we will be corrected with some of our pronunciations of names, which is our it's our It's our shtick, isn't it? But if there is anybody that is watching and saying to us, hey, this is how you pronounce our name, just come to us. You know, we'll be fine. We apologise for butchering
We are
names.
professional commentators on this broadcast. We get names wrong professionally.
Yeah, but we also do the caster thing where we don't say it. We don't both say it correctly. We'll say it differently. You might hear about 25 different variations of your surname. Not on purpose. It's just us forgetting how we said it the first time and in the heat of the moment.
We just had somebody go across the line, by the way. Ben Smith just went from 26th all the way up to 4th on the grid.
Fifth now. Fifth. Jack Hills. Pretty sure that was Jack Hills. Yeah, Jack Hills was in that race. Just racing there, wasn't he? He did go to 4th, Ben, but he's down into 5th now. So I think that was Jack Hills that pipped him there at the line. But he's doing well. That's a good time as well. 25.3. There's only 3 drivers that have dipped under the 1 minute 25 at the moment. So he's the second fastest in terms of in the 25s. So really strong time at the moment in the Ferrari there for his team, which is the... I'm not sure what team that is. I need to get a double check on that one. Someone will tell me in a minute, and I will look like a... I already do look like a numpty.
But you're the loveliest numpty. Don't worry. Don't touch. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Tell you otherwise.
All right, the Racing Sim Rigs team. That's what it is. There we go. At least that's what I believe. But
There
we'll
you
with that.
go. Anyways, we're seeing quite few, well, quote-unquote amateurs put in some very respectable lap times. I think...
Oh, Ben Smith, sorry. Ben Smith just actually broke the 25s. He just did a 124.692, and then Isaac Barkley comes in with a 124.522 to take away that front row for Ben. So 2 good laps there in Ferraris. Isaac Barkley taking he's a 10th off the time there of Stumpf in the lead, as James Pierce takes pole position in his car, the number 18 there, with a 24.368, which almost knocks a 10th off the previous pole time.
So we'll go over the top 20 now. A great stat I'm looking at it right now. There's 9 amateur drivers and only 1 single pro driver in the top 10 at the moment.
Really? There is, yeah. That's Stumpf as well. The next fastest pro driver is the number 12 of Jack Wells, who is sitting in P12 with a 125.410. But at the moment, who have we got out on the track now, I wonder? I did see some people going about. We have the number 58 of Rick Cohen, the number 6 of Harry Woodhead, the number 77 of Pascal Radschun, who is a pro driver, and I believe that's it at the moment. That's the only 3 I see on the track at the moment. Will we see others shortly? We've got a couple waiting to go out, waiting for their moment, which we'll call on when they come out. So 3 cars out at the moment with only 1 pro.
The pros are kind of they're sprinkled on like cheddar cheese on a pizza at the moment, but we'll probably see. I think we're seeing more and more of them take to the grid. There's now 26. I think. Is there any more? 26 at the moment that are gridded. 27.
Here we go.
Just did a 6-minute lap. We'll hide that just to not shame him.
Oscar Cooper, the number 69 car, is the next car out. A pro driver in the McLaren, a very clean-looking McLaren. This is not like a fashion show at the moment. Where I'm not saying, oh, check out the livery. It's from Prada. It's just I always like having a fancy at liveries. It's something that just makes a car. You know, it's why I hate Ferraris all in red. It's just something. You see so many of them.
I feel like you oogle over the oogle over the. I was about to say Google for a second. You oogle over the liveries. I mean, perfect. I mean, perfect thing to do. I mean, I mean, he's got a very nice livery, the car number 69 of Oscar Coper, sorry. But it's just a nice plain white and orange. It's a McLaren livery.
We just jinxed him because he just had a moment coming around Sheen's. His back went a little bit out there. That is his warm-up lap, so I guess that's not a big deal. The tail just kicked out a little bit coming through Sheen's, but again, it is his warm-up lap, so he can be, he can be forgiven for that. But one of our highest I-rating drivers is out on the track now, the number 13 of Linus Technow. And I apologise, Linus, if I have pronounced that wrong. It might even be Linus. I'm not sure how he pronounces his name. I just always known it as Linus. He is one of the top rated drivers here today for Impulse Racing, driving the camouflage Impulse Racing McLaren. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the McLaren. Quite a veteran of iRacing. He's been on for a few years now, so he knows his way around the McLaren. You could almost argue if this was like a boomer, he'd be saying he was there when the McLaren was first here, and you guys were little whippersnappers, not even on a sim rig. But no, he's not that old.
The
little whippersnappers. You little whippersnappers never knew what it was like when the McLaren was the best car.
You damn whippersnappers, get off my McLaren.
Oh, we jinxed him. He just had an off track.
No, you did it. No, I'm blaming you. I take no responsibility. As we do have an onboard with Oscar Coper, by the way, who is just coming up to Clark Curve, going on to Brabham Straight. Brabham. You say Brabham very quickly? I'm tempted to say Brabham.
Yeah, it's Brabham. No, it's Brabham because it's I can't remember his first name. The F1 driver, Brabham, and also the manufacturer because he created. Remember the famous Brabham fan car.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was done by Jack Brabham. He created Brabham after winning. They won a couple of world championships in Formula One, but that is the formation that Jack Brabham was a very famous and very, very good Formula One champion. One of the first really in like the Oceanic area. So yeah, that's where that's where the Brabham Straight comes from, especially for the British aspect of the team. So yeah, it is Brabham.
Well, I'll take your word for it. By the way, guys, good to see you in the chat. If you have any questions for us, you can ask the booth, #AskTheBooth. Or you could just be like, hey, I'm on a stream, Mom. We won't put you on the stream, but we'll acknowledge you. Well, we'll try.
Try and acknowledge you. Let's just have a look at some of these times at the moment. Harry Woodhead has now gone fasted with a 23.586. Rajstrom is a 23.763. And now Rick Cohen has gone P3 with a 24.160. Just waiting for other cars to go by now, I'm guessing. Who will be waiting for now? I think Linus is just coming around the Brabham Straight right now. Yes, he is. He was originally P8, P9 now for 24.687. What does he do on this last lap here? It's going to be crossing the line. When he crosses the tape, it's going to be a 23.637. Good enough for P3 provisionally at the moment. Tim Matz took a 23.291 to take pole as well in the Manatee Racing Audi.
There you go. You got it right this time. So the amateurs now are sort of intermingling with the pros now. The pros definitely putting their stamp on why they're considered pro. Tim Matsk is, as he said, on 123.291. As we said, people were breaking the 24s. Now they're breaking the 23s, and they're very close to breaking the 22s. Matsk is only 0.2 of a second, well, just under 0.3 of a second away from 122, but I think that'd be the ludicrous rap of ludicrous laps.
I mean, can we see a 122? I don't think so. We won't anyway. There's two cars not set a lap yet, which is the 31 of Taylor Lane and the 7 of Mark Bailey. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, we've done it again, by the way.
What have we done?
It's not Matsk, it's Matsky.
Matsky. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Matsky. Okay.
Professional streamers over here.
I did. You know, you learn something new every day. You learn something new every day. Honestly. Now, is this Iglesias the last car to cross the line? It will be. Let's see what happens here when he comes around the clock curve.
See, we can get Iglesias, but a simple name like Matsky is... Oh.
I mean, we were the generation that grew up with Ricky Iglesias, so we're kind of used to it. Am I right? Or am I right?
That's fair. Well, that's fair. But he did go 5th, by the way, Iglesias did, with a 1:23.764. So he pulls off the decided road to let another set of drivers onto the track.
There's 2 left, but I don't know if they're actually going... I don't actually see the 31 of Taylor Lane actually in the sim, and Mark Bailey hasn't left yet, but... oh, he's got a black and white British flag on his roof. That's nice. That's nice.
Get your Union Jacks out in the chat, boys. I'll just get the Irish flag out because I'm not English.
I don't even know what to say about that. Rule Britannia, I guess.
Rupert, I guess, as in like you're not sure if Britannia should rule.
Is this offensive as I say Rule Britannia? Oh, I don't know. No, screw it. We're at Brands Hatch. Rule Britannia.
Do we have another set of cars coming in, or is that everybody qualified? Taylor Lane has yet to qualify, and Mark Bailey has yet to qualify, or unless they're deciding that that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's it. I would not be surprised if that's it.
We are going to be racing in 5 minutes, so let's cut to the Be Right Back screen, or well, somebody's just gone on track to entertain us. Taylor Lane's gone on track to entertain us. While we do that, let's go over the entire quali results now. So, do you want to start off the first 10, and I'll go for the next 10?
Yeah, let's go for it right now. So, pole position, Tim Matsky with a 122.895, pole position for the pro driver. In P2, the amateur driver number 6, Harry Woodhead, with a 23.586. Linus Technau, the pro driver, with a 23.637. He'll be lining up with Pascal Radchen, who's another pro driver, a 23.763. 1,000th of a second behind him is Tristan Iglesias, a 23.764. Rick Cohen, the amateur, in P6 with a 24.160. He'll be with Oscar Cooper, the pro driver. No, he won't be. That's a different line. Oscar Cooper, the pro driver, a 124.170. Neil Butler, the amateur, a 124.210. James Pierce, another amateur, a 24.368. And rounding out the top 10 is Malte Stumpf, a pro driver, with a 24.447.
And going from 11th backwards is Isaac Barkley with a 124.522. Ben Smith with a 124.692. Andrew Miller with a 124.917. Jack Hills with a 124.926. Harry Wills is in 15th at the car number 95 with a 125.095, so he starts at 25s. And by the way, the pole sitter, broke the 122, so that was a very ludicrous a lot from him. Kyle Gray is in 16th position with a 125.107. Josh Seymour is with a 125.167, so just 6,000ths or 600ths of a second off of car number 72. Chris Hamer with a 125.245. Marius Shank with a 125.294. Jack Wells with a 125.410. Casper Johansson with a 125.469. Chris Miles with a 125.483. James Costa with a 125.732. Adam Miles with a 125.738. And then we get into the 126s with Sebastian Rain with a 126.1. Kyle Jacquelet with a 126.249. Henry Drury with a 126.374. Matt Hedrick is the car number 1, but he's down in 28th position with a 126.618. Simon Marshall, 126.792. And we get into the 127s with Martin Devlin, a 127.297.
And to round out the last cars, we've got Stefan Kurtzman with a 127.300. Robert Odams with a 127.304, so 4,000 spot between those two. Simon Dodd with a 128.157, and Marcus Sonderman with a 128.348. And Mark Bailey did not set a lap. Now, did I see somebody just finish a lap there?
They did indeed. Yeah. The only car that's on the track right now, or one of 2 cars that are on the track right now.
Oh, yeah,
Taylor Lane went P17 with a 125.110.
Also, Mark Bailey is out on the track at the moment, so is he setting a lap time? I'm guessing he is right now. So not much we can do apart from let's watch him in the Ferrari here. So just out of curiosity, just to let people know, pole sitter is a Audi, followed by a Ferrari, McLaren. 3 Ferraris, McLaren, 2 Ferraris, an Audi, and a partridge in a pear tree. No, I'm kidding. Our fastest BMW is Jack Hills. Actually, I think he's the only BMW, isn't he? I don't think there's any other BMWs. Jack Hills was 14, and he broke the 125, so fair play to him. I'm pretty sure he's the only... No, we do have Casper Johansson down in P22, but Henry Dury in P28, but not a lot of BMWs, which is interesting because this is a track that I would have thought suited the BMWs.
Well, it's Ferrari across the grid, so I think that should give you an idea of where the balance lies at the moment. We just had a comment in from Anne's Cambridge, who says to shout out my boy Jonathan. Good luck, mate. The tea's in the oven. I wouldn't put the tea in the oven. I'd cook it with a kettle, but I get what you mean. We are about to get racing here very shortly. The checkered flag is being waved at the moment, signaling the race or the qualifying end, and we are just about to start gridding up here for the race.
A 30-minute race around this beautiful track in probably some of the best cars that iRacing has at the moment, the GT3s. It's going to be absolutely brilliant when we get going. They are starting to get onto the track right now. Be interested to see. Now remember, there are teams. It's not a team event per se. Just to give a rundown of some of the teams we've got here today. We've got Beast Racing. We've got the Bicolis Bashers. Cat Racing as well at the front there. Harry Woodland, as you can tell. Yeah, his livery looks like the Cat teams. You know, the Cat manufacturing diggers and stuff. What am I saying?
You mean the Cat in the Hat?
Yeah, we've got Fiercely Forward. We've got the Impulse RSR Esports. Jackhammer Racing, we mentioned about them. We've got Laps. We've got Manatee. We've got Midland Sim. We've got Miles Ahead. Racing Sim Rigs, we've mentioned them before. Team Rookie Monsters. The Twisted Z4 team. They've got Twisted Z4 Red and they've got Twisted Z4 Blue. They're all red today, I believe. I'm not sure. Year One Racing. And we've got Rick Cohen, who is a privateer.
That is the entire grid, by the way. It's going to be a entire lap around with the safety car because iRacing. But it'll provide a good idea of the corner names. So we'll guide you through the corner names as they go around. Well, I'll guide you through them anyway because I've actually tried to study them. But guys, strap yourselves in. We're about to go green. It'll be a lap of pace car, and then they'll go green for 30 minutes. As you can see, the car number 8 and the car number 6 set them off. The car number 6 is a amateur, and I think the car number 8 is a pro. It is Tim Matsky is a pro with right beside him is a it's a front 2 is the pro amateur, really, as they come around Druid. So they just went past Pilgrim's Rise as they try and come out of formation, trying to reform it behind the safety car. They come around Graham Hill Bend onto Cooper Straight, and up to Surtees, then onto Pilgrim's Drop. Beyond that, I am expecting lap 1 of packed action for 30 minutes because there will be 2 races tonight. This is the first race, and then we will reload for race 2. We'll also be drawing the number at which the grid is reversed, so get ready for that. As they come down Pilgrim's Drop, you can just see the amount of cars that are on. I would have to calculate it as tens of thousands of horsepower streaming behind the safety car as it goes around Hawthorne Bend onto Minter Straight, then onto Westfield Bend. I think it's kind of a triple trouble in this particular zone, or this particular area, because it's Westfield Bend, then Dingle Dell, and then Sheeney's. Or I think is it Sheen's or Sheeney's?
I think it's Sheen's.
Okay, I've already butchered a corner name. Get that out of our system. As they come around Sterling's onto Clearways, coming up towards the flag that'll take them green. The safety car will pull in. It is up to Matsky when he wants to release. He is the lead car. The number 6 will have to wait very patiently. The number 6 of Harry Woodhead as they go. It is green flag racing. The press day is underway as they... Oh, there's been a crash in the background.
Going absolutely side by side, 2 to 3 wide there around. We've still got Maskey in the lead with Woodhead. It has come down now into Druid. This is going to be the tough corner for everybody. Side by side, we're seeing Pascal Radshorn with Rick Cohen there at the moment. Radshorn does get by Rick, who had a great start there. Iglesias is going down the field. They're still 2 by 2 near the back here as they go around, and they're going to hit into Surtees in a minute. We did see an accident. I'm not sure what happened. Jack Wells has made up quite a few places, but at the front, Matsky is taking, I would say, it's a comfortable lead because Harry Woodhead is in the slipstream right now, as is Linus Tech now. So it's not going to be easy. This is a small straight, but it's enough to get you some slipstream at the moment. Matsky, Woodhead, Tech now.
Oscar Coper, by the way, was making him a fair few places at the start. He was getting a bit argy-bargy going into Graham Hill Bend.
Oh, it's an accident! Iglesias has crashed. I think, who is that he's crashed with? It's James Pierce. That looked like that was going down to, now what corner was that? I believe, yes, that was Hawthorne. Looked like that, no, not Hawthorne, sorry, that was Westfield. Iglesias got a little bit sketchy there and then took the inside, and I think he just cut the curve and took too much of it and just lost it there. So 2 cars already at the back there who's having to make a lot of places. Linus takes P2 as well. We've missed that at the moment. He's taken P2 in quite a battle there with Woodhead. So those 2 there, but they're 2 seconds behind. Actually, is that Woodhead? Yeah, that's Woodhead actually trying to make the overtake again onto Tech now, and actually didn't overshot it there at Sterling. So it's an interesting, unlucky there for Woodhead. Still there into the chase, but these guys have lost time on Matsky.
We were just seeing the replay, by the way, of the crash with Iglesias. He had lost control coming out of Hawthorne Bend on the Derek Minter Straight, and then when he came into Westfield, he had a collision, of course, with the other car, and he is now, well, he doesn't have that much damage, but he is down the pecking order a little bit.
Yeah, just trying to see if anyone's made some big moves at the moment. Isaac Barkley made 4 places up there, as did Ben Smith, and actually those 2 are in a battle as well with Neil Butler, and actually Oscar Copper is also behind them, so it's a bit of a gaggle at the moment as they're coming around the track right now, hitting into Surtees. Not Surtees, sorry, Sterling, so I must apologise. And I've got it wrong for a change. There is a second between these 4, and it's a battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And even behind them, Taylor Lane is there in P10 after taking the position from Jack Hill. So they're all bunched up at the moment, and it'll be interesting because one of these is not like the other, because Copper's in a McLaren and everybody else is in a Ferrari.
It's just a group of Ferraris for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. They're going around pretty calmly now as they come down towards Graham Hill.
Oh, Isaac there. Barkley just went wide going around Hill. At the net, he just take too much speed. Took too much speed. Went off on too high on the runoff there. Only loses a position. Actually lost 2 positions there. Could he lose this and lose to Taylor Lane as well? I think Lane will just hold off as they come around the corner here. Just keeping it safe there through Hawthorne. So bit of safety there by Lane. So one mistake there and you're 3 positions down, or 2 positions down for Barkley.
So the pecking order now for Coper, who I think he's made up 4 positions since the start of the race. He now has Ben Smith, Neil Butler and Rick Cohen ahead of him. They are all amateur drivers. The next pro driver that he needs to combat is Pascal Rajkin, as we have Sebastian Rain in the pits.
Yeah, looks like he just took too much speed at Paddock Hill, Paddock Bend, sorry, and just went off. That's what it looked like. But then again, my replay blinked. So, curse you, iRacing! I can't see what happened.
Let's have a look and see as they come. They're coming onto Brabham Straight on the replay. Let's see now. He is currently. Ooh! Just a little tap from that McLaren sent him, well, sliding 180 degrees. He's an object at that time. He's just a passenger, and he hit. I think that was 1 Z4 and 2 other Audis.
Barkley is now in the pits. What happened to Barkley? Oh no, he's coming through Hill again, and he's collided. He has gone into the back of Jack Hills there. Was that just him not? Ooh, that is unlucky. Just taking a bit too much speed there, and just right into the back. Spins around, hits the end power wall there. His race looks to be done as well, and he was running quite well as well at the start, so that's unlucky.
Oh, well, he had an accident coming out of Paddock Hill Bend, and then just that other accident coming out of Graham Hill. I think that's just him for the moment, but he will have another chance at the second race.
Yeah, Matsky goes purple again. Now, to say what he's doing, he did a 23.5. That is a second faster than anybody on the track right now. I mean, the only guy close to him is Harry Woodhead, who did a 124.4. So, 124.4, sorry, yeah, I got my times wrong. So that just shows it. There's only a few cars in the 24s. And then Matsky is on his own in the 23. So he has now put a 4.5 second lead on himself, with Technow trying to defend from Woodhead. And is finally pulling away from the amateur. And he's pulling away as well from Bradshaw. So really good showing by this amateur driver right now.
Harry Woodhead, he's got an A for amateur, but he's driving like a P, which is a pro. He's battling it with the big boys, and he's not letting Linus out of his sights. You can see in the front of your cameras there, Linus coming around Clark Curve, but Harry is just in the background, just sort of slyly sitting there. He is just a second behind him, and if he keeps it up, he'll be able to continue holding onto the slipstream, holding onto the toe of Linus Tech now as Linus comes back through the infield just past Pilgrim's Rise.
Yep, that last lap, Linus was a 124.3 and Woodhead was a 124.6, so losing time, but keeping on that crucial slipstream. Just want to have a quick look down the field. I was looking at Oscar Copper, one of the pro drivers in P8 at the moment. He's got a gaggle of 2 ahead of him, a gaggle of Ferraris of the amateurs of Butler and Smith. And he's just holding his time patiently at the moment. Smith doesn't want to make a move on Butler. Butler's not really being defensive because they're keeping it safe, and Copper's just there patiently at the back there in his McLaren. He's just waiting for the right time to pounce right now. There's still 22 minutes left in the race, so he's got plenty of time to set himself up.
There's a speculative amount of laps, which is 22. They've done 6 so far. There's been plenty of close racing all throughout the grid. It's not just the top of the leaderboard that we're talking about. All the way through, there's gaggle of cars battling it out, trying to grab one or two more places and trying to, well, essentially defend from the rear if they are the lead car. Look, the car in 6th place, Neil Butler, is doing right now. As we do have an overtake, Rick Cohen has taken the 5th place, or taken 4th place away from Pascal Radschen.
Yeah, just watching that, actually Radschen went from wide into Clark and almost, I think he clipped the grass, so lost a lot of time there, but it's still fighting. He's half a second behind Radschen. So now the 3 of the top 4 are, or 3 of the top 5 even, are pro drivers. One mistake there from Radschen and that's it. Can he get it back is the question. Now he has been doing some good lap times, so he does have a chance in that Ferrari there, so we will wait and see. Behind them at the moment there's a 4-second gap, Butler, Smith and Copper, so that'll look to be interesting. Actually Butler's starting to pull away from Smith and Copper would be losing time, I guess, because he's staying behind Smith, but there's not really a lot of places you can go for an overtake. Watching Copper myself at the moment as he's coming down into Dingle Dell. He won't make a move at Sheen's. I wish I could make, you know, in GT Sport you can make loads of moves at Sheen. Will he go for a dive into Sterling? No, it's just too narrow of a corner to make a move. You've really got to try it here at Clark and set yourself up for Paddock. I don't think he will, but Smith is actually catching Butler, it looks like. So there won't be a move per se at the moment, but we must keep an eye on this race.
By the way, I thought you said jeans, like, and I thought the next sentence you were going to say is, I wish I could do jeans like he could. Or jeans like in GT Sport, like as in like the clothes you wear instead of sheens.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I was meant to make a corny joke, but I had to stop myself. As they come down into Graham Hill Bend onto Cooper Straight. We're on board, or we have the cameras pointed at Oscar Koper, who's running in 8th position. He's got the 2 amateur drivers in the car number 16 and 22. In the 16 car is Neil Butler, and in the 22 is Ben Smith. Will he has 19 minutes to make the overtake. He might not be able to catch the car number 5, Pascal Radschen, who is still trying to gain his position back from Rick Cohen, sorry. Who's in 4th position now, 9 seconds behind the leader of Tim Matsky. And by the way, we were talking before about Linus Techno and Harry Woodhead having a group of 2, really, a gaggle of 2, table of 2 at the restaurant. They are now, he's now pulling away from Woodhead, so I think somebody's paid the bill at their table, and I think Techno is pulling away. He's pulling the bill and himself away as Ben Smith. Ben Smith going on the inside of Neil Butler. Oh, there's been another contact not between Butler and Smith, but between Smith and Koper. There's been no position change, but they were side by side going into Paddock Hill Bend. They didn't make the move. Ben Smith did not make the move. He was side by... Oh, he's side by side again. He lunged in. And you can see there he's lunged and gone off the track. He's lost 2 positions, making the move into Surtees. Let's have a replay of that.
Keep on the replay.
Yeah, I have the replay as he makes it. Ooh, a bit too ambitious with that move. And yeah, he's now 8th position. I think he's on. No, he is 8th position. He's now under threat from Taylor Lane, and not have any of that. He wants to not have any of that on his plate.
No, that's not what you want. You can make a move there at Sterling. I've got it at Surtees. Sorry, it is doable. It is doable. It's just tough to do at Surtees. Especially with how wide that corner is. You've really got to commit to it. So this actually plays into Koper's hands. We were talking about will he get the move done. Well, he's waited for the carnage to happen, and it's happened. And he's going to be sitting now in P7. He's now got a battle for P6. Butler goes a little bit wide through Druids. makes up for it there. You can actually make up for going wide at Druids, providing you don't go too wide. So it's a forgiving corner in some aspects. So doesn't lose much time there as he comes now into Surtees. Doesn't have anybody behind him trying to send it, so he's going to be okay there. Now, what's happened to Ben Smith now? He is just okay there. He's pulling away from Lane. So that's going to be a little bit of a sigh of relief for him there. Lane will try and get some slipstream. He's just over a second behind him. Might get some, but at the same time, did they have any damage? Might have had a little bit of damage. That nose doesn't look flush to the wheel arch on his left side as he's looking at it. So the driver's side. So he does have a little bit of damage. So that will cause a small bit of drag. It's not major, but I think there's enough there to cause a bit of drag when it comes down to the straights.
Get a track like Brands Hatch where the straights aren't that long in particular, except for the straight that has Pilgrim's Drop on it. That's quite a large stretch of tarmac. Probably have some effect there, but Brands Hatch isn't the Le Mans of the British catalogue of racetracks. So I think he'll get away with it just maybe. As we have on our screen Ben Smith making his way infield. This is lap 11 of 22. We're halfway through the race. It is 50 minutes left to go on race number 1. Nice and flat they go through Surtees onto Pilgrim's Drop. Now let's try and pick out battles in the field.
I have found one. I found a nice little gaggle at the back here between the bent wing of Jack Hills, who's got Andrew Miller behind him, and then behind him is a bit of a gaggle with James Costa and Harry Wills. Not hit. That's going to be hard to say, Hills and Wills, but I'll do my best. About 2 seconds between them, but they have been quite bunched up. Wills is in a battle with Costa. Costa's in a battle with Miller. Miller's in a battle with Hills. And that's all them there. So quite a bit of there. Actually, you mentioned the whole not really long straights here. That might play to Hills with the wing, and I have preempted the commentator's curse as he goes off at Sterling and loses that position to Miller. The curse has happened preemptively, and what's happened to Lane and what's happened to Dury?
Let's have a look. They just pulled in, and they might be pitting for fuel.
Oh, it's pit stops. Yes, of course. I forgot about that.
Surely they last longer than that. I mean, the Ferraris don't have a pipette of a fuel tank.
There's many jokes I can go here. I won't, so let's not. Just see, the top is actually pretty spread out at the moment. So our highest up battle will be Butler. Trying to battle Copper here at the moment. So yes, Copper did get by Butler. So that's good. It's good for him. Good to see the pro drivers battling it out through the track at the moment. This little battle we were looking at the back here. Jack Hills is now, he's trying to catch Miller, but he's got Costa behind him. He has this. I've done it again. I've done it again.
I've done it again. You just keep waving your wand and cursing cars. Jack Hills definitely has a better car, but James Costa went off. I think that was at just coming up to Dingle Dell. He went off, and now he's lost a place to Harry Wills. Wills and Hills. There's a Will and a Hill. As they come past start finish line, they are within 1.3 seconds of each other. So let's see what they can do, as we have the cameras pointed at James Costa, who is defending his place against Miles. Adam Miles, the pro driver in this case, is battling Costa, who's the amateur. So let's see what they can do. Costa going cautiously through Druids onto Graham Hill Bend. He probably won't let Miles pass if he thinks he's got the leg up on him. The little GT3 of the MP4 is definitely nothing to be scoffed at. Oh, there's a little bit of drift as Costa yields the position, he went onto the inside after having a little bit of a slide coming out of Surtees. So he's yielded a position, so he's now lost 3 places in about as many minutes, but he's looking to the inside of Miles. He's not given up completely. He's given up at the position, but the battle has just begun. The war has just begun, as they said. So let's see if he can keep to the rear end of Miles and try and pick up some speed. Let's see. No, Linus Techno, I think. Is he the current leader? He is the current leader of the race.
No, he isn't.
Oh no, he isn't. Sorry.
Muski's so far ahead, you didn't realise.
Leaderboard issues, but he's so far ahead. I thought Techno was ahead. Matsky is now 9 seconds ahead of the rest of the. Sorry, 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Harry Woodhead he's fallen back to 2 seconds behind Techno, so Techno has broken the slipstream of the car behind him of Woodhead. But Harry's running really comfy now. The Cap, yeah, it's Cap, by the way. It's the construction company that makes diggers and that.
That was the word I was looking for. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah, the Caterpillar. That's what it is.
It's the JCB. You know, remember that song? My JCB
yes, I
song?
had that in my head. Yes, I had that in my head the moment you said JCB. We're showing our age now. He's doing well though for an amateur. Running in P3 with the Audi. It's yellow and black. There's something nice about black and yellow. Not because I'm a fan of Pittsburgh sports. It might be, but there's something nice about the colour combination there. Radshot behind him, 3 seconds down behind him but behind him as well we've got Cohen, who is still battling in this. As I say that, he's sliding a little bit out of the hill. I need to stop cursing. He is still in the slipstream. Yeah, the last one was you though. The last one was you when you were talking about who is it went off at 30s. That was on you.
Was it?
Yeah, yes, it was. Costa lost it exiting 30s while you were talking. That was on you.
I deny everything. We have Rick Cohen's cams on screen for you now as he's chasing down.
Devlin's off the road. Sorry, we've got a car off the road. That's Martin Devlin at Sheen. I'm not sure what's happened there. Looks like he's actually lost it entering Sheen's. My camera's actually blinked, so I can't see. I just see him spinning, and then he's on the dirt. He's on the gravel afterwards. So, not sure what's happened there. He was running P28, and he was in a battle with Soderman. Let's talk about these back of the field battles, because everybody is in a battle here.
Oh,
Marcus
sorry, just to cut across you. He clipped the grass. Just coming towards Sheen's. So he was coming out of Dingle Dell, and he clipped the grass, and the Ferrari just went by and spun him 180 degrees. But he did do a very nice safe rejoin. Approval points for that.
So, what's happened here? Simon Dodd just got off. I was watching Soderman, yeah. Watching Marcus Sonderman, sorry. In front of him was Simon Dodd. Dodd loses it entering Surtees. And the battered and beaten, that I've never seen an Audi so sad in my life. Oh my, what has happened to that car, Marcus? Who's hurt you?
Coming out of Surtees, went onto the grass, and the car hit the wall on the outside, so he's carrying extra damage now. The entire front end is just, it doesn't exist anymore on that car.
Where is his front end? It's gone. I mean, I know a lot of that was in the first accident, but where? Do we? We're in the UK. We can put out. We can call the police and ask for a missing bumper report. You know, we'll put some papers up around the corners. Have you seen this bonnet? We're looking for it. That's a shame though for him. He's slightly.
Oh, I put the cameras onto Miles at the exact wrong time. It just broadcasted him having an accident coming out of Sterling's. I think he just had an oversteer in the car.
And then he hit the wall trying to correct. That's a shame.
He is now down in 19th position. He has lost quite a few places with that accident.
That's a shame. I think it was also the recovery as well, just did not help him. But in front of him is Simon Marshall, who is diving into the pits with 6 minutes left. Matt Tetrick is behind him, is behind Miles now, and shouldn't be making a move here. Good defending from Miles, getting it in early as you can. Now, will Hetrick try to go for a move from Druids? He sets himself up late. Miles has to give him the room there, almost squeezed him out. They're still side by side, going down to hill. Miles has the inside, this should be good, but he gets the over under here, does Hetrick. Hetrick will now try and go inside for 30s. Does not get it as Miles defends. Good defending, good attacking here by these two cars. It's all for P22 and 23, but it is fun driving. They're going to go side by side downhill at the moment, and with that damage there, Miles cannot defend against Hetrick. Hetrick will take the position, but I'll tell you right now, he will not give it up easy. As Sebastian Ryan, a lapped car, is right beside them, and it's just going to cause an... Yeah, he's making Miles. Miles cannot take the battle with Ryan going, well, around the outside there as a lapped car. It's questionable, I will say, but a bit of etiquette. There, and who's that coming up? That's Miles. He's crabbing. Oh, he had to avoid a car. He had to avoid Henry Dury, who spun off at Sheen's. He just clipped the grass on the exit of Sheen's, and Miles has to get out. He gets out on the grass and spins, entering Sterling. And what happens then? Does he get hit? I'm not entirely sure.
No, he doesn't get hit. He just hits his nose against the wall, trying to avoid other cars and try and get to the other side of the track.
Oh, that is a shame. He was running, what, P12 at one stage, wasn't he not?
He was indeed.
So, the leaders are coming round through the lap traffic at the moment. Bradshaw is now only half a second ahead of Cohen. So these two are now back on battles, and I never thought I'd be saying in a series like this that the lap traffic is going to cause some position battles here, but that's what's happened here, with almost half a second lost by Bradshaw in the last lap due to the traffic. Simon Dodds at number 49 will let them by, I'm guessing. Yes, he pulls off to one side, eases off there. That's the etiquette we're looking for. We're looking for. So back onto the battle now. Cohen, 0.3 of a second behind. He will have to just stay here. Now remember, this is dirty air. High-speed corners, dirty air. It's a lethal combination right here, especially through these corners right here. Coming around to Sheen's right now. He will not be able to make a move here at Sterling's. But can he set himself up down clearways into Clark and Brabham?
He's definitely got the clean air to do it on the Brabham straight, but the question is, do you want to make a risky move going into Paddock Hill and then on towards it's Pilgrim's Rise? Well, technically it is on towards Druids, but it's more so the Pilgrim's Rise, especially that lethal outer section of the track. There is absolutely no room for error, and if you do make a mistake, there's a nice little wall ready to hug you and greet you and ruin your car.
Back on there with a defensive move down to Cohen, getting to the inside that apex of Druids as fast as he can. Keeps up the defense right here. He's got a couple more places that he has to defend right now. They've come out of Hill, down to Cooper, into Surtees right now. He goes a little bit wide as Bradshaw. He still holds it. That's not the apex you want to be looking for. In fact, there is no apex round there, Pascal. He still holds on to this, and it's not going to be enough there for Cohen to make a move down into Hawthorne. But a few more mistakes there. Bradshaw is struggling on these tyres by the looks of it. Survives Hawthorne, survives Westfield, but Cohen just looks more comfortable coming around these corners, coming through these tricky corners. Let's just watch Sheens again. Yeah, just looks so much comfortable.
Well, I mean, Cohen's sort of, he's picking a side to look into and seeing if he can maybe make a move. He's going side by side, going into Clark Curve. He's not going. Ooh. just very close to the rear end. They're going, ooh, it's on the grass as well. This is absolute wheel-to-wheel stuff right now. As they go down towards Paddock Hill, they were side by side going into Clark Curve, and then they were side by side coming out, but Cohen, oh, they're side by side again, going around Druids. Oh, just a little bit of a touch.
I think they're a little bit of a kith again, and they're side by side. They've been side by side battling for the last lap, and they're still doing it. Bradshaw now, if he gets the apex here, he might have a chance. Here he goes again. It's wide, it's wide, it's wide, it's wide. Still missing that apex. Look at Cohen kiss the apex. He gets a better launch. Actually, they both get a similar launch, but Bradshaw was just off the apex there. That will hinder him later, but this is the part of the track that Cohen is so good at. There's only one lap left after this, so Cohen has to do anything he can to get past Bradshaw, and Bradshaw is really being aggressive with the defense, but it's working, and it's safe.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? When the car of Ayrton Senna attempted to defend for, I think it was 5 laps around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit against Nigel Mansell, who had fresh rubber. I think that is also it, by the way. I think it is.
No, I think it's... No, now they see the white flag. They've seen the white flag. There's 10 seconds left on the clock, and Matsky has taken the white flag as he comes down the hill. We've got to keep an eye on this Cohen-Bradshaw battle. They're side by side again, almost going down to Paddock. Here they go again, round 3, ding, 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 coming round to Druid. Bradshaw again takes the inside. Cohen might have a better line. No, he gets compromised by the slow Bradshaw. He gets compromised. Now down into hill they go again. This is fantastic. There is no get up. I would be absolutely... He's gone wide. Bradshaw's gone wide. And oh, I'm not sure about that one going quite left there. And Cohen's got the line. Now, but Cohen will get a better line if he doesn't clip the grass. I am cursing them again. Cohen has to make the move, but Bradshaw will hold that inside line as much as he can as they come around here. Then he returns back to the racing line. Cohen goes for the move. No, he cannot make that move.
Almost on the inside going into Hawthorne Bend. This definitely is reminding me of that great battle that Ayrton Senna and Mansell had at Monaco, when Mansell was just like, out of my way, Brazilian, I've got the fresh rubber, and Ayrton Senna was just ducking this way and that and just would not refuse to let him pass. As they come across the line to take the checkered flag for race 1. We did also, by the way, forgot to mention, Tim Matsky won the race.
Yeah, he won the race, but it was so enthralling we couldn't stop and say he takes the win. But fantastic there. Matsky takes the win with Tech now in 2nd, Woodhead in 3rd, Bradshaw in 4th, Cohen in 5th. Butler will take 6th, Smith takes 7th. Copper with a battle at the end with Smith, actually. To Butler, Smith, Copper. How close was that battle? They must have been... Yeah, just at the end there, Copper had the speed, but it was too late. And Smith does hold on there by the barest of margins. That's 500th of a second. Wells takes 9th, and Seymour will take P10. So that is the top 10 as they just coming to cross the line now.
That was a really good first race. Do you mind running through the race results then?
I will go. Do you want me to go through them again? I know I just went through the top 10. I'll go through them again. Tim Matsky took the win with Linus Technow in P2. Both pro drivers. Harry Woodhead, the top amateur driver, in P3. Pascal Radshawn, a pro driver, into P4. Rick Cohen is P5 with Neil Butler in 6th. Ben Smith 7th, Oscar Copper in 8th, Jack Wells in 9th, Josh Seymour in 10th, Jack Hills in 11th, Tristan Iglesias is in 12th, Harry Wills 13th, James Costa 14th, Carl Jacquelet 15th, Marius Janke in 16th, Taylor Lane in 17th, Andrew Miller 18th, Chris Miles will take 19th, and Adam Miles will take 20th. Mark Bailey 21st, Simon Marshall 22nd, Mark Sonderman 23rd, Stefan Kurtzman 24th, Martin Devlin 25th, Casper Johansson 26th, Then we have them guys 2 laps down, Chris Hammer into 27th. 3 laps down was Carl Gray in 28th, Simon Dodd in 29th, Henry Drury in 30th. 5 laps down each were Sebastian Heatrick in 31st and Sebastian Ryan in 32nd. James Pearce, 33rd, was 10 laps down. Isaac Barkley was 19 laps down in 34th. Maud Stumpf, 21 laps down in P35, and Robert Odams, also 21 laps down in P36.
Do you know what I'm going to say next?
What's that?
We are about to interview the real Tim Matzke.
Are we really? Ooh.
Yes, we are indeed. So let's have him come into our abode as we go and wait for the next race to spawn, guys. Let's have a look, shall we? Where is he? He's here. There we go. I mean, I have to do this in a really awful way. Hang on. I wish.
Oh, you should have said I could have done it for you.
Hang on.
Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. Move to Tim.
Hello.
Hello. How are we? How are you? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, press day, so not really that important, but it was some good fun out there. The track is very nice to drive.
You're doing some really good racing, by the way. You sort of just took off like the speed of sound, and then just sort of had the whole P1 to yourself, essentially for the entire race. Do you feel confident in the car?
Well, they've made changes to the Audi, like to all GT3s again a few weeks ago, and I didn't really have too much time to test it, but we invested some time into this week to get kind of used to also setup work and what's fast, to find that out. So I think yes, and there's still a lot to learn, but we'll get there.
Did you, Tim, find it any struggle at the start? You were side by side with an amateur at the start of the race there with Woodhead. You were the only car in the 120 in the 122s as well. But did you have any concerns? Not really, as it's an amateur. He probably do so. Did you have any concerns going into turn one? It isn't going down Paddock Hill, not the easiest of corners to take, and if you're in the lead, you've probably got more risk of getting dived or losing that spot, and then you're on the back foot at Druid. So, did you have any concerns going into the start of that race?
No, not really. Especially as it's also press day, and I just kind of hoped that at Brands Hatch no one would try something. I was more looking into myself because lap 1 when we set off, that's like you can never have those kind of tires in practice, because in practice you kind of have the 70-degree tires from the pits, and in the race you do the whole outlap so the tires cool down, and you have less grip than when you exit to pits. So I'm kind of more focusing on myself and keeping the car on the track, because the tires are really not there at the start. They're really not there.
Do you have do you drive differently on that first lap then, just to get some tires? Because especially with Brands Hatch, it's a full lap of the track for the formation. So I'm guessing you have to almost dial it back a bit on those first laps, do you?
Yeah, surely. We luckily had like a high track temp, so the tires. I'm not actually sure if they cool down, but especially last season I noticed it a lot that on first lap the tires are way worse than exiting the pits in practice, and you really have to be careful there. So I didn't really know what to expect here, and it actually was okay, but especially in the compression after turn 1, when you're still turning a bit, you can grab some oversteer sometimes.
On the point of, do you think the tire changes are good in terms of how they interact with the GT3 changes? Or do you think the new tires definitely provide more realism as well as a better driving experience, or do you think they still need improvement?
I've never driven a real car, so whatever I say is not going to be a very valid opinion, to be honest, but there's definitely more safety now in the tires. You've got more room to play with in terms of sliding. It definitely probably provides closer racing to GT3 cars than last season. You've got more confidence. You can kind of work with the car a little bit more like in real life, that you can like just brake a bit better without losing the rear or exiting the corner mid corner. You don't really have to expect that kind of snappiness anymore, which definitely also helps the racing and consistency, I would say. So I think it is an improvement, but I also still think there are changes to be made, especially when it comes to tire temperatures on certain tracks.
We see a lot of Ferraris. And I believe you were in the Audi. Is there a reason? Because I think it was a very Ferrari-heavy field. And there was only a handful of BMWs, and a handful of McLaren. So, was there any reasoning behind your selection of car for the series?
I like it. That's basically it. It's the Ferrari seems to be the fastest car right now on average on most tracks. But I like the Audi, and I think with some good setup work, you can definitely make it work. And yeah, in VRS you see mainly Ferraris right now, so I kind of want to provide a difference here, to be honest, as well.
Now, Tim, I'm going to have to ask you to do something very quick for me. I want you at the count of 3 to say a funny catchphrase, because we're going to roll for the reverse grid now, and we're going to roll for the number. So I want you to do that for me really quickly.
Just 1 to 3. Like,
as in, like, on 3, you just say a funny phrase, and then I'll roll for the number.
Oh dear! What
okay,
the fuck?
You have 3 seconds to think of a funny name or funny anything funny. Get it ready in 3, 2, 1, go.
I once wunged. That's more of an insider though. So
that'll do. It is 12. It is 12. 12 is the magic number from where the grid will reverse. So yeah, you might have had it. You might have had it on the plate in the first race, but the second race will definitely be more entertaining. But
yeah, I think so as well.
If you have anything else, we'd like to hear from you. Otherwise, we can get you ready, get you strapped into the car for the second race, because it's going to be even more entertaining.
Yep. No, I'm good. So I wish everyone a lot of fun watching the second race, and also you guys. And then have a nice evening.
Okay, Tim. Thanks very much for the interview.
Yep, of course.
You can head back to the channel whence you came from, and thanks very much for taking this interview.
Yep, no problem. See you.
I just want to say that the random number generator was picked by Stephen on the street today. He used Bull's number 5, and we use Giovan for the machine. I just had to do that. You ever remember the National Lottery when they used to do that? That was fun. You know, I just couldn't resist the old pop where they get a random person on the street. Oh, pick the name of the machine for us tonight, as it made a difference. So we'll have to have a name for our random number generator there, I think.
I'll just call it the LCD of Doom, because it depends on where.
LCD of Doom.
Well, I mean, it's styled like an LCD, but that's the best I can give.
So the grid will reverse from 12 onwards, which means that Tim Matsgate will have to start P12, and especially at Brands Hatch, that's going to take some work. I know it's like he said, it's the press day, so it's just a shakedown, but it's going to be very interesting to see some of these drivers work their way back up.
Though the thing I liked the most about that race was the amount of people cheering Harry on. A special shout out to Harry Woodhead, by the way. A amateur driver driving with the best in iRacing and keeping his own level head and keeping his foot in and never giving up and coming P3. An absolute cracker race from him.
Oh, some cracking races elsewhere as well. It was nice to see some of the pro drivers having to work their way up the field. I know the front was a little bit after Linus took P2, was a little bit just spreading out there, but down the field was fantastic. There was action everywhere we looked. Even if it was just 2 cars going together, you know, in a line, at least there was that opportunity of, well, looks like there could be something going on type thing there. There could be a move happening. It is tough though. at Brands Hatch to make a move, and how narrow some of those corners are. So really good work by the drivers there to keep it clean, keep it safe, and some great driving. And well, we're going to be looking forward to some more in a minute.
Absolutely. Once we get the word, we will be heading in for round 2 of Brands Hatch. Guys, we want to see you guys in the chat. Did you like that stream? Did you like that first race? Let us know. And while we're doing that, by the way, let's talk about what we thought about the driving, especially the overtakes and the clean racing, very clean racing that we saw on the track, especially the fact that there was respect between Pro and Am. You know, there wasn't argy-bargy, there wasn't tears. Well, a lot of tears. But there was definitely a lot of respect between the drivers. They were definitely out there in the right mindset, in the right way, making the best broadcast, really.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was at the end there. We were watching that battle at the end. Was it Radshawn? It was Radshawn, wasn't it? There was some moves just going there, some late dives, but some good respect as well. Druids, we saw some moves at Druids where the driver may have come in hot a bit accidentally, and the other driver's given them the room, given them the safety of the space to make sure they both stay alive. So there was some good driving out there. Couple mistakes as well we saw. I can't remember who we saw were try to send it at Surtees, which you can. We were saying, you know, it's one of those corners where you can brake late and get rewarded for it. And just overdid it a bit there and lost the back. But in order to truthfully, no one was going for moves that looked a bit silly. You know, you don't want to be trying to send it through Hawthorne or Westfield, and you definitely don't want to try your luck at Sterling's. You know, you want to leave it for mainly the front of the track. So it's real nice to see the safety of the drivers at the moment, and it's all going to go out the window once we see the reverse grid. That's all I know. That's all I just feel. You just know it's going to happen.
38 people are watching on YouTube. Thank you very much, guys, for the support, by the way. We hope you guys are enjoying it. Good race, good driving. The commentators' one lines, ... questionable. That's from Mitchell Jessup. Thanks very much, Mitchell. We try and make the cheesiest one-liners, you know.
Yeah, well, we are like the
me.
BBC.
It's
we are like
mostly
the
me,
BBC. We're like the BBC. One of us has to be the positive, and one has to be the negative. We provide balance, you know. I'll say tomato. I'll say tomato, and Robert will say tomato.
How do we balance cheesy one-liners, though? Do we just say, haha?
Ah! There, how's that for a cheesy one-liner? Or just nothing. I mean, some of our puns have been really bad, haven't they? You didn't even say anything at my formalities joke the other night, which I found absolutely... I was just waiting for your facepalm when I said it, so... We're bad at this.
We may be bad, but we're good at being bad. But
it's like Paul Blart Mall Cop then, the first one. It was so bad it was good. We're Paul Blart, are we? I love it.
Essentially we are. Shout out to Midland Sim Racing, by the way. That's from Andy Hitchings. There's definitely a lot of... Well, I mean, it is a British league, of course, but there's a huge amount of like teams here as well.
International flavour, isn't it? I think we've got some people from the United States. We've definitely got some Europeans here. It's a nice mixture of drivers. I wouldn't say all around the world, because I don't think it's a bit too early for people in Australia. If you're awake, good day, mate. While you're awake, it's too early. But apart from that, yeah, it is really a really nice international field. I'm pretty sure I did see some people from the United States. I don't think I saw any Canadians, but we definitely did, of course, as we heard with Matsky from Europe, Linus Tech now as well, Germany. So we've got a nice mix there. So it's definitely not Rule Britannia. So I can put that back. I can put that away for another day, can't I?
put it away for another. It just sounds like you. It just sounds like you had a little toy, and you're just like, no, I can't do it. No.
It's like it's NASCAR racing. No, black clouds, too dangerous. No, not bringing it out yet.
We are just getting this session up and running for the next race. You guys excited? Yeah. You guys stick around for race number 2. There will be 15 minutes of practice, so you guys can, squeeze in. And let's get cracking, shall we? By the way, Craig, what was your favorite moment of the race? Or, well, I think you already said it, but what was your favorite single event of the race?
Oh, you know what? It actually might be the dive at Surtees. Just because it wasn't as much as a this is what not to do. It was more of a case of this is the risk reward that I was mentioning. Like I said, you can brake late at Surtees and get away with it sometimes. But if you're braking late and turning at the same time and you haven't taken your brake off enough, you're gonna have the back go. And to quote South Park, you're gonna have a bad time. That was probably my moment because it was a great definition of what this racing is and what Brands Hatch can bring.
Yeah, Brands Hatch can bring the closest of racing, and also the GT3s as well. They definitely are a lot of fun to witness, even just to witness, and then to see them battling it out at essentially wheel to wheel, as we saw in the last 2 or 3 laps. Between Cooper and I think it was Cohen and Cooper, the two of them battling it out just side by side, wheel to wheel at the last stages of the race. And Cohen definitely was putting the pressure on Cooper to reclaim that lead. Or not even lead, just to reclaim the position.
We always say that. We always say the lead when we know it's not the lead. Oh, I tell you what, if we had a drinking contest for mistakes we make, some poor soul would be drunk at the moment.
Most likely me.
With me forgetting the corner names, which is a rarity for me. Butchering people's names, butchering team names with Manatee. God, that's a new one for me. Oh wow, yeah, we some poor souls will be quite drunk after this. Yes, Ben Smith was. I was just saying, Ben Smith. I'll take credit for the send at Surtees. It was a send. And I'm not going to deny it was worth the move. I probably would have done it myself, but I don't think I would have spun out in spectacular fashion like you did, Ben.
Overconfident.
Overconfident? No, I think I would have taken both drivers out if I'm honest. I got to be honest. Isaac, just reading the chat here at the moment, almost the hashtag grill the box. Big up the Bicolis bashers. Now, Isaac, you have to tell me, is that basically you want to be like Bicolis, or is that just the mean that Bicolis can never finish a race in real life? I'd like... just wondering.
You'll have to keep chat entertained, by the way.
I will. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm no good at one-liners. I can say. Do we plug our social medias at this stage? I think it would be worth. Of course, we will be plugging our social medias. If I can remember your social media, because I am really bad at this.
It's in the description. That's all you need to do.
Oh my God! It's in your description. It is. Well, your Twitch channel is not your Twitter, but we do have a Facebook page, facebook.com/RadionTV, as well as our Twitch, of course, which is SKAY_IE, and our website as well, radion.tv. Myself, it's Scully Equal. I do not have the internet for Twitch, so do not bother trying to find me on Twitch because you won't get anywhere. Unfortunately,
I have the commentator's screen up now. Don't worry.
Oh, you are a star. I mean, Would we like to explain what's so special about the Radeon TV?
Oh,
Do we
fine. Oh, fine.
do we shame you? Do we shame you?
Yes, go
Well,
ahead.
gather around, children, and let me explain to you the story of how Radeon came to light. It was that fateful day one day in 1952. We couldn't say 60 back then, so we said Dickety. Old Craig here was driving an endurance race at Spa with a certain Tyler McCulloch, and the engine dies. We have a crash, and some man by the name of Robert comes into our chat and starts saying, "Hello, this is BMW technical support. You need a new engine, yeah?" And just stays with us for the rest of the race. And as we come around Blanchimont, Tanner comes around Blanchimont, and there's a comment just out of nowhere. "Hey Tanner, how's Radeon?" And everybody is there thinking, yeah, yeah. Hang on 1 second, hang on. And then Tanner just responds, "That's not Radeon." And it took about a minute for the rest of us to click to what he was saying. Is that Tanner's just almost committed suicide at Blanchimont, and here's Robert thinking it's Radeon. So unfortunately, no one saw it at the time, but we made sure people saw it just to, you've got to like embarrass people. Do you know what I mean? So that started started a meme almost for the next 2 weeks, and I remember you did Road America, ILMS at Road America the following week, and I just remember a track map was displayed. Canada Corner was replaced with Radeon.
Everything was replaced with Radeon.
Everything was replaced with Radeon.
Even the corners and straights that didn't have any names, they were just Radeon now. What?
Turn 4, yeah, that's Radeon.
So chat. I will be back in 2 to 3 minutes. I just need to sort something out. Craig will keep you company, and the cameras will be pointed at the most exciting people. Don't go away.
Yeah. So Ben Smith, who has the best livery? Well, yeah, that's a tough one at the moment. I just must admit, I did say earlier the Manatee Racing team. They've always got a nice colour. I do enjoy that the racing green there. It's a very enjoyable colour. Martin Devlin has got there's something. Now chat, bear with me. There is something nice about minimalistic liveries. And Car 78 Martin Devlin, it's just minimalistic. He's got his name on the windscreen with the British flags. Driving a Ferrari in black. He's got Sky. He's got the same cube. Can I say Sky? I don't know. It's a really nice livery. It's basic, but it does the job. Loads of manatees here at the moment. Who else can we look at? Oh yeah, Twisted Racing. Now here's another case of keep it clean. You've got the guys there. They've got their yellow with the black, the yellow stripes with the black, and then they've got their blue and they've got their red, and then Twisted written on it. Chris Hammer. What is that livery? It looks like you've got a British flag. Yeah, it's a British flag. It's got a bit of like fade or tear over. That's actually really nice. It's like, have you all seen the WeatherTech Ferrari livery that they ran in IMSA and Le Mans? And I always wished I wanted to race that on my Ferrari until I realised it looked so good. Oh, the roof's got the American flag. Yeah, I'm British. I don't really want to use the American flag. Sorry. So that's one livery. But yeah, the Twisted. Here's Mac Hatrick coming out right now for me. Again, basic, but it works. It's white. It's white with some silver and green. It almost looks like it's because it's a Patronus livery from the Blancpain. I cannot pronounce that. So no wonder why it looked familiar. It basically looks like a Mercedes livery on a Ferrari. I now hate it. What are you doing? You can't mix car liveries. That's like having a Golf livery on a Ferrari or something. It does not work. No. Okay, fair enough. Weird. So That's all I can say. It's James Costa, AF Corsa livery, of course, classic. I'm not a huge fan. I've seen so many red liveries on Ferraris. It's kind of got boring to me. But the Impulse Racing Linus, it's a camouflage effect with some green, and it just works really well on this McLaren. The McLaren, it's an old car. It's got some lovely lines to it, though. You cannot deny that. The Impulse Racing, I think it's the rebrand. I think they had a different livery. I could talk about liveries all day. I must apologise. It's one of those things. How are we doing, chap? While we're waiting, 31 still there. It's the James Pierce livery is 100. I have not seen James Pierce. Oh yes. No, I did see this earlier in the race. It's the Racing Sim Rigs, and it's a blue on the red. And if you look at the chase, it's almost like an inverted, it looks like from behind like an inverted Union Jack with like the crosses, with the white crosses and the red lines. But it's really nice how the red and the blues just mix up there, and it's the right colours. It's the right amount of red on a Ferrari. I know people are going to say Ferraris have to be all red. Where is the yellow in the Ferraris nowadays? Come on. You just got to have some yellow. Andy Miller, Neil Butler was saying Andy Miller's was the best. I have not seen Andrews at the moment. He's not on track. I cannot see it at the moment, and I cannot remember it at the top of my head. Josh Seymour, that was another one, wasn't it? Yeah, the twisted in the Ferrari, Josh Seymour. Now that is just, it's chaos, but the right type of chaos. It's just black and this yellow. I mean, I got a thing for Pittsburgh sport teams, and Pittsburgh use black and yellow, black and gold. So seeing the black and the yellow to me is just like, yes, love it. It's a thing I have, and it might just be because I've just been used to that for the last 15 years watching American football, baseball, and ice hockey. So that's a nice livery, I must admit. It's nice seeing all these liveries. Such a change from when you go into a series and you see like a load of everybody with the same liveries. So that's nice to see. It's always nice having a bit of change there. Carl Gray is another one there. The Year One Racing. We saw it earlier. Who did we see it with for the Ferrari? It was Mark Bailey, wasn't it? No, not Mark Bailey. Sorry, who was it with the? There was a Ferrari with the same scheme, and it was so nice, especially with like the Mini Cooper style Union Jack on the hood, on the roof. So I did enjoy that. Just seeing anybody else. Rick Cohen, that was one I was looking at earlier, and I was like, this is chaos. I mean, at first I thought it was a bit of he's got the wrong files or something, and then you realise at the front there's a zip, so he's pulling away at two liveries or putting two liveries together, like the Sauber back in '99 when they had the two liveries and they wanted to put alternate between races.
I think you're
was that Sauber?
No, you're thinking of VAR.
It was British Hours Racing. Okay. Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You've missed nothing, as you can imagine. I've just been comparing liveries, so I've been doing my nerdism for the week.
Is that a sanctioned quota?
I don't know. I think the men with the straitjacket will be coming to collect me soon. And I can't say it's due to it's due to lockdown because I work.
Well, so do I, but you know, completely different posts. Andy Hitchens says, commentary is brilliant, guys. Looking forward to the rest of the championship. We're more than happy to bring the rest of the championship. I'm happy that you're liking it. So, I thought James Pierce almost went off there. We do have a new entry, by the way, or a late entry. It is Joshua Mayer who's joining this race. He wasn't in the first one, but he's now in the second.
Yes, Joshua Meyer. Yes, that's the Manatee driver, I believe. as they're getting ready to grid up. So it is reverse grid, and I believe it's all set up correctly. Yes, it is set up correctly. I don't know. It's not because it doesn't show right. I have not got my grid selected properly. Here we go. Now it's looking right. So just to go over what the top 12 will be due to the reverse grid. Tristan Iglesias will be on pole, the pro driver, with Jack Hills beside him. Josh Seymour and Jack Wells take up 3 and 4. Behind them will be Oscar Copper and Ben Smith. Neil Butler and Rick Cohen will take 7th and 8th. Pascal Radshon and Harry Woodhead will take 9th and 10th. They will likely to rekindle their rivalry from the first race. And Linus Technow and Tim Matzke will take 11th and 12th, as the 2 top drivers will have to battle 10 or 11 cars between them, and that makes up the top 12. The rest will be where they finished, with Joshua Meyer, of course, at the back. So it will be Harry Wills, James Costa, Marius Janker, Taylor Lane, Andrew Miller, Chris Miles, Adam Miles, Mark Bailey, Simon Marshall, Marcus Sonderman, Stefan Kurtzman, Martin Devlin, Casper Johansson, Chris Hamer, Carl Gray, Simon Dodd, Henry Dury, Matt Heatrick, Sebastian Rain, James Pearce, Isaac Barkley, Malte Stumpf, Robert Odoms, and Joshua Mayer.
There's a cursed. It's cursed. It's the GT3.
Wait, no, he hasn't.
He's done it. He's only gone and done it.
Wow. Here in the rare Brands Hatch region, we see the rare Ford GTE approaching the field.
It's not even a Ford GTE, it's a Ford GT3.
Oh, it's a GT3. I was butchering my Richard Attenborough. You know, it's fair enough. I would make a mistake.
They are going around now. So Josh and Mayer will start at the back alongside Robert Odoms. So he'll be working his way through the field.
Yeah, Odoms and Stumpf had a first lap incident, so they weren't able to get their car fixed in time to return. So those two will be at the back of the field per se with Mayer. So it'll be interesting to see. They might make a few places though, because I believe they both qualified pretty well.
Josh and Mayer, by the way, is a new entry. He was not in the previous race.
I was on about Mayer. They're joining them. Malte Stumpf and Odom both had to crash at the start of the race, and they'll be joining with Mayer. Yes, no, don't worry, I'm aware of it. As they come around to Sterling's into the clearways. Bit of a gap there left by Iglesias, but I don't think that's too much of a concern. Watching these lovely cars now, they'll come around Clark. The pace car will dive into the pits, and for the first time this season, Iglesias will lead us off at the start-finish line as we keep all eyes on this start again. He goes for it early, and it looks like at the same time Seymour is going to get a catch-off. Ben Smith as well has made up a couple places, 2 by 2, almost 3 there at the back, but Iglesias takes it with Hills. It's a McLaren going a bit wide there on the gravel there. There has been an accident there actually. There has been contact. What has happened there? Did I see contact? I did. It looked like a car went a bit wide. Not sure what happened there. Oh, it's a twisted racing car. It is the twisted racing car there of Josh Seymour. Just lost it coming into paddock and just takes a couple cars out, and there's chaos after the first corner.
Well, they were definitely energetic going out. There's a bunch of cars going off left and right, by the way. We can't do all of them, but a few very early casualties, it has to be said. Adam Miles is all the way down, as is Josh Seymour. They're both. Let's get a replay.
While you watch that, I want to say Rick Cohen has made up 6 places because of that. He's P3. I'm pretty sure that was almost where he was at the start of the last race. So the sunset there, they come down the corner into Clark there. He will take P3. Now, how many timers do we have? Neil Butler is in the pits. That's a definite retirement as Iglesias takes the lead after the first lap with Hills in second, Rick Cohen in third. Harry Woodhead has come back up to P4. Oscar Copper will take P5. Has not made any place stop there. Bradshaw into 6th. Tech now into 7th. Matt Gay 8th. Harry Wills 9th, and James Costa 10th.
By the way, on the front of Jack Hill's car, there's a bit of damage, I think, from... He must have picked it up from the start of the race. There's a bit of damage to the rear as well, but he was also the Z4 that was just completely bent out of shape in the previous race, but he's definitely made it through in a better shape this time around, starting the 3rd lap, as the other cars seem to be doing just fine, just in a line at the moment.
Yeah, I just remembered I believe they gave them all a fast repair for this race because there was a couple incidents. Soderman went into the pits after the first lap with a wing looking the same as it did when he finished the last race, and he just goes in and just jumps into another car and goes on. It's as simple as that.
He does a Formula E styled car change.
What has happened to Barkley? Barkley and Stump are in the pits. Don't tell me there's been an incident between those two, and it does look like it. Looks like there's been a contact between the two of them. Yes! Oh, is that Hawthorne they're going by? It's Hawthorne, and they both went side by side. And then Stump collected Carl Gray, and also the Ghost Saucer. Barkley and Stump makes contact, collects Gray, who spins around, but does keep the car on the track. So doing well there. It's all happening at the back of the field, with nothing happening at the front yet.
Just hearing the engines going off of the Audis, it's like the engines of the Corvettes in the GT1 class. Oh, we just see the replay now of that accident at Hawthorne Bend. So it looks like they're not having a nice, a grand day out, as it were.
Oh, I'll tell you who's having a bit of a grand day out. It's Matt Skay, our winner from the last race. He took P7 going into the first corner down into paddock from Tech now, and he's on the charge again. He's in behind Bradshaw, sure. As they come into Sterling right now, he might make a move at Clark. All depends. But again, it's a 30-minute race. He's got all the time in the world to just wait. That sunset is really off-putting coming down that straight, and I don't blame them all just being a bit safe there. He will battle it out now from Bradshaw onto this first corner at paddock. Iglesias with 123.6 at the front of the field, just to let people know. He has to go on the inside. That's a BMW losing it. That's Henry Dury, who has now lost it on cold tyres in front of everybody. Hello, that was a bit of a close moment. But this gaggle right here, there's a second between 5th, 6th and 7th. And Copper is also battling P4, which is Jack Hill. So everybody at the front is nicely bunched up at the moment. But Iglesias, your leader, is pulled a 3-second lead ahead of Rick Cohen.
Henry has already been in the pits, and I think he might go back in again. Does he go back in on the replay? No, he stays out.
Right, Harry Woodhead. Can he replicate? Well, as I said, that he goes off on the grass, but can he replicate his stunning first race? He's fighting Rick Cohen, and I'm pretty sure it was the other way around last race, that Cohen was fighting Woodhead. So this will be interesting to see. He was P2 when they started the first race, half a second behind Cohen at the moment. I just want to look at the back. It looks like Copper, yeah, he's taken P4 away from Jack Hills. That looked like it must have been around Sterling. Oh, it was around Sterling. Hills went a little bit wide on the exit and just capitalised on that Copper. Now he's got Bradshaw behind him and Matske as well. So this is really bunched up here at the back of the top 10.
Ooh, there is a bit of a gaggle indeed, but you do see drivers definitely. They are pinching up now. There's a gaggle of, I think, 6. Gaggle of 7 actually. Oh, and that's the Taylor Lane in the background goes wide coming out of Graham Hill Bend. He's lost the back of Harry Wills. Harry is definitely charging towards the rear of the gaggle now. He's in 9th position, charging towards Linus Tech now, who is in the middle of that group of... It's a group of 6 now, I think. He definitely wants to make an impact this race. He needs to stay in the slipstream.
Oh, Hills has gone wide. Hills has gone wide at Hawthorne. And he's lost 2 places. Jack Hills losing it there. He's lost 2 places. Matsgate almost colliding with Bradshaw there as they go around Sheens. And they come through Sterling right now safe. But Hills losing 2 there, just going a little bit too wide at Hawthorne. And he's still in this gaggle though, but he's slowly losing it. He's got damage from the start of the race. That back of that BMW does not look happy. It's not affecting it, not affecting his top speed, which is handy. And we got these 2 McLarens, and Wills has a moment there behind Tech now, keeps it in, and now really this gaggle of 6 is just turning out to just be massive. I mean, you look at the gap. The leader's 4 seconds ahead on P2, and then from P2 to P9 to P10 even, it's 6 seconds. So everybody's almost like half a second between each other. They're all in the slipstream. They're all gunning for this right now. Matsgate wants Bradshaw. He will have to go around the outside. Will he go back in? No, Bradshaw is now their nose to bumper. Nose to bumper. Bradshaw will get the inside. He almost cuts up. Matsgate will get the overtake. Round the outside, they're still touching. As they come around the next corner, still sideways. Bradshaw does not give Matsgate the room. Matsgate's forced to go on the grass. He takes the position back. They come around to Sheens right now. Bradshaw still has it. Matsgate could make the move if he wants it. Matsgate's going to make the move. Oh, there's contact. Bradshaw moved in too early. Bradshaw moved in too early there. Matsgate will take P5. Questionable move there by Bradshaw.
Let's have a look at this again as they were coming towards Sheens and Sterling's. I think, yeah, it is Sheens and Sterling's. Ooh, unlucky pinched Matsgate, where Matsgate had nowhere to go. He was basically beside the grass, and unfortunately, Bradshaw has paid the price. He is now down a good bit. He's now in 12th position.
Yeah, no, Bradshaw was being super aggressive with his defense through that whole place, and Matsgate to take the position around the outside of Hawthorne was amazing, but at the same time he was getting pushed and pushed by Bradshaw. I gotta say it like I see it. He was getting pushed off by Bradshaw there, and that happened there. They went down to Sterling. Bradshaw just wanted to make sure he could just hold off that inside. Was not aware Matsgate was that close to him, and he pitted himself really. It was a pit maneuver on yourself, so that's a shame.
Ooh, Rick Cohen. He made a mistake going into Westfield Bend. He took the inside line a bit too much. And now our favourite AM driver, Harry Woodhead.
No, he's gone. Rick's gone. He's off. He caught the grass into Sterling. And there's again contact because everybody's bunched up. Hills has taken the position from Tech now as he had to check up. Lane behind him, there was contact from Cohen and Hills as they went around. Not a lot to do anything, I don't think, to Hills. His car's already busted in some respects. Lane now wants to go around the outside of Tech now. They're almost coming together. Tech now should have to on the outside. They do touch. Tech now holds the car. Still on the inside. He's holding his position. Lane is nose in front as they come to Druid, who gets the position. Tech now is still on the inside. Still side by side. It's Hills and Tech now. Tech now wants all he can, but he cannot get into it. Cannot get there. He wants to turn in. They contact again. It's Lane slow on the inside. Techno's going to lose that position to Rick Cohen now. Will he lose it to Wills? No. Cohen wants to go inside of Hills. No, that's Lane. Sorry, wants to go inside of Hills. Cohen takes it. So let's just get our bearings right there. Techno loses P6 to Taylor Lane. He then loses P7 to Rick Cohen. They're still battling. They're still touching as we come down to Hawthorne. Now Techno takes Rick Cohen. He's on the grass though. Can he keep it straight? Keep it straight. Wills takes Cohen as they both have to check up. What is going on at the back of this dude at the same time? Matsgay's off. What has happened? Oh my word. And there's contact. Wills is off. Oh my word. What is going on? Right. Matsgay spun himself. I've got this. Matsgay spun himself out of Hawthorne. Just came onto the grass too late. He is now in P11, 12, P12. After setting the fastest lap of the race, he's in P12. All that work at the start of the race is gone. Copper is... I've lost what's happened here. There was so much going on.
It was just... Oh my god. There was just so much to digest in that set of 3 corners. Just... Harry Wills is now down in 19th. As you just see the cursed car go by in the front of the cameras. Where's Matsky at? Matsky's in P11, so he is ahead of the gaggle of 5 in the front of your monitors. Don't look away, that is a Ferrari. BMW, Ferrari, BMW, Ferrari. It is a Ferrari on BMW sandwich. It is a house of Ferraris full of BMWs, if you're familiar with Texas Hold'em.
I got a house. No, hang on. No, I've got 2. I got 2 pair. I see 2 Mercedes. I see 2 McLaren battling. Linus wants round 2 on Taylor. Linus on Taylor right now. They're coming around Sheen. He won't make a move into Sterling, will he? Come on, Linus. He will not make the move. Was not expecting a heavy braking there from Lane. Does keep it. These 2 have been battling for the last maybe 3 laps. It's got to be 3 laps. A little bit of a slide there by Lane. He is catching on to Hills at the same time, so that old adage of, well, you can't catch them because they're catching somebody else is coming true at the moment, I've got to say.
It's some very good racing. As Carl Gray, by the way, he's come from 24. The board is updating now. He was showing him in 12th position, but I think that's just a bug on the board. We emulate real life in some ways. We emulate life as it happens, you know.
Life as it happens. I'm watching this battle again. I mean, I know there's other battles down the field, but I'm just so enthralled at this freeway battle for P4, 5, for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Tech now had a move on Lane right now. Lane will go to the inside if they come around to Hawthorne. He will stick on the inside. Tech now will have to go around. Does not. He goes for the over-under. And that's Kurtzman in the grass as well. Kurtzman needs to slow down. Makes the move into Westfield. Great move there from Tech now. He's keeping it. He's got to be careful he doesn't get cut off there. Now, Sheens keeps it as Lane wanted to try and make a move around. Cannot do it. Gets it to Sterling. I'll tell you what, making a move on the inside of Westfield there that takes some courage. That's a great move there by Tech now.
Tech now pushing his way up the field. He is now in 5th position and he's chasing Jack Hills, who is doing a really good run in 4th position after having a few incidents. A bit of an upset car, but he's definitely going strong. He's 12.9 seconds behind the leader though, who's Tristan Iglesias. So Iglesias himself is making up for the first race in buckets and spades. And Harry Woodhead showing yet again another great performance. He's in 2nd place, and he's got a comfortable 2-second lead ahead of Oscar Coper, who definitely is making up for starting, I think it was P13, P14 in the previous race. He's charging towards Harry Woodhead at the moment. He's closed the gap to just under 2 seconds, so it's 1.8, 1.7 seconds at the moment. The gap between 2nd and 3rd, but the gap between 1st and 2nd is now 3 seconds.
Just watching Taylor in, as I say that, he goes a little bit wide at Hawthorne. A comment from the chat was show P36. If we could, we would, but he crashed out. I think we've got...
He means this car that's on the screen. The 00 car, the car that started at the back of the grid, the cursed car.
Made up the most spots, let's be honest. I know it's been a bit chaotic. It's made up the most spots in this car, in the Manatee Ford GT3, which is a tongue twister in itself. A car, when you're watching it, does not look stable going around these corners. It does not look happy going around the corners, I've got to be honest. But he is holding on. In front of him, Matsuke. What's happened to Matsuke? I had him a little bit higher than that. He's on the grass. He wants to go around the outside of Hamer. Cannot make it stick. He gets caught again. Oh, it's not Matsuke's race. Had that on the outside of Hamer. Could not make it stick. And just gets touched and spun. So So unlucky there for Matsuke. Cannot do anything at Hill at the front. Miles and Johansson. Oh, no. Oh, and the 4GTE goes past everybody. What have we just seen? Let's just rewind that for a moment. And let's just go over this again. Johansson goes a little bit, he touches. A little bit of a touch there with Miles as he comes around Hill. He goes wide, is on a slow, and Hamer just doesn't recognize it. And everybody just gets caught up in it. I think Matsuke might have had some nose damage there, not entirely sure. Actually, he gets away with it.
There was another there was another Ford in the a Ferrari coming through Gray Hill Bend, and he made a mistake coming out of the exit. He almost became the third victim in that crash. But the guys are all running again now, so not too much of drama. But I feel sorry for Chris Hamer. He's now lost, I think, about 2 or 3 positions from that accident as he comes through Clark Curve at the moment, being chased by James Pierce, who is trying to make his way back up the field.
Rick Owen is in the wall. What happened to him? Did he lose it at Clark's? He lost it at Clark's. Tried to correct the car, and the car just said no and just went straight on. That's a weird move there. I would have thought the car would have kicked out again after he saved it so much that the car just went straight. I don't know how you do that. I wouldn't say that's some talent, that's just some really bad luck. Because I would have expected the car to swing left and just spin left after he tried to overcorrect. So that's unlucky in his point. So leaders, now Iglesias is in the lead. Of course he's in the lead. He's 2 seconds in the lead from Woodhead. And they've been held up by traffic a bit there. Woodhead had a chance to make a move. Then got held up himself. And behind them is Copper. And he's about 2 seconds behind Woodhead now. He's got Soderman in front of him, so that's not too bad. Then the rest of the field is Miles back, Tech now, Hills, Lane, and there's about a second between each of them. In fact, Lane is battling Hills at the moment, so that will be one to keep an eye out of. Apart from that, it's looking pretty spread at the moment after the chaos a few laps ago.
They've only got 11 minutes to go, but Harry Woodhead took a second away from the last time we looked at him. He took a second away from Tristan Iglesias' gap between himself and himself. And he's on a charge. He's flashing his lights. He's like, I'm on the broadcast. Hey, Mom, look at me.
Did you say himself and himself?
Yeah,
I'm
himself.
sure you did.
Himself and himself, yeah.
It's me, myself, and I at the moment. But yeah, closing the gap. It's 2 seconds at the moment. Devlin, don't tell me Devlin's gone off. No, he's in the pits. I just saw the relative and started to worry there. 2 seconds between first and second. 2 seconds between second and third. So you've got to hand it off here to Woodhead. In a field, basically, he is a boy amongst men, and he's holding his own in this second race. And he was holding his own really in the first race, to be fair. So he's really showing that last race was not a fluke.
I mean, it's a PAP right now. It's a pro-amateur pro, but the amateur is definitely fighting with the strength of the two pros. I mean, he's not losing time to Tristan. He's not gaining time to Tristan, but he's definitely making sure... well, he's not gaining time at the moment, but he took a second off him, as I said before. And any more, tenths of a second he can gain is absolutely critical. There's 9 minutes left of the race. There is 7 laps to go, as we have the number 6 and the number 5 car on our screens, Jack Hills and Taylor Lane. Taylor Lane is trying to catch Jack Hills and overtake him. Jack is trying to prevent that. Jack is about 7 tenths of a second ahead of Taylor Lane, but he has all the it's theoretically all the time in the world. He's got 9 minutes to make a move. Taylor Lane does. So let's see what Taylor Lane can do with that Ferrari.
Yeah, I just want to say, do you know the difference between a 7,000 iRacing driver and a 1,700 iRacing driver? The ability to go around and make an overtake around the outside of Clark. That is what Matsuke did on Simon Marshall as I was watching him. He's got himself back to P11. He's been up, he's been down. Been up, he's been down. He's back up. What's he going to do with the last 8 minutes? Is he going to give us an encore as we go back to this battle between Lane and Hills? It's Lane does have it now. Lane has it from Hills as they cross the line. Going through Druids now. Lane might have made a mistake going wide. Hills will go try to get the line. Cannot. Hills holds them off. Bit of braking. How is this BMW of Hills just going so well when it looks like the backs had a monster mash of some sort? It doesn't look right. That back does not look right, and it's really throwing me off. It's like the left rib has just been bent, but yet the wing's untouched. He's loving it.
I mean, that's all you need, really. As long as the wing isn't damaged, it's A-okay.
On a wing and a prayer, as they used to say. Lane, though, did take P4. And I think Hills needs a prayer right now because he's in that dirty air right now behind him, going through Sheens into Sterling. A little bit wide there by Lane, but recovers, gets it down. Love that corner there. Always love Sterling. And a little bit of grass there from Lane. Should not be too much of an issue. Hasn't slowed him down too much. He's gone wide. He's gone wide. He's gone wide.
Tristan Iglesias went wide coming out of Sheens. And guess who's our leader?
The amateur Harry Woodhead is our leader. Wow. He's got 7 minutes to hold it. And of course it's 22 laps. So he's got about 5 laps to hold this right now. This is going to be fun, and somebody else is off. Did I just see a car? No, it was just Matsuke just going crazy on everybody. He's taken P10 now. The last time I saw him, he was like 4 seconds behind Matt Heatrick, and now he's overtaken him. That's just the pace of the guy. It's crazy how good he is. He's got Linus Tech now in front of him. He'll catch up to Linus. He won't overtake him, I don't think, with 6 minutes to go, but stranger things have happened. I mean, I didn't realise Woodhead took the lead, so just holds his own right now, and he did struggle at the end of the race, Woodhead. I believe that was what we were watching earlier, last race, so we'll be got to be careful on these tyres. It's 27 Celsius out there. That's 81 Fahrenheit, so we're in the Indian summer, as they call it in England. That's a hot track temp.
It wasn't as hot as it was before, though. I think it was up in like...
Oh, Lane's off! Lane's off! Lane is off. What has happened there? He's caught the grass on the entry of Sterling. On his own, he's spun on his own, and he is now, as he avoids everybody, he's down to P9. P9. That's unlucky for Lane. Running in P4. Like it's Jack Hills, P4 again. And Radshorn is 4.5 seconds behind Hills. He takes P5. So bad break there for Lane again.
Yeah, I mean, the cars just turn by themselves. Well, not just turn by themselves, but they just are lethal when they touch the grass, especially with the GT3s. They just go topsy-turvy, you know, and you're a passenger, essentially, after you start sliding on the grass.
Matsuke and Lane. I think we've seen this before. Matsuke versus Lane. It's a 0.3 of a second lead there for Lane. Don't think it's going to be that much for a while, as Matsuke gets the perfect apex, the perfect exit out of Surtees. It's Lane in the middle of the track, goes to the inside. Who's that in front of him? Is that Tech now? What's happened to Linus? He's hit the grass. He's hit the grass for no reason on the straight.
Ooh, and his car is sliding. Ooh, the three of them are going wide, going through Westfield Bend, but I think he's got his crikey.
Crikey is the word. What is going on right here? Matsuke wants Lane, but Lane wants Tech now. Something's got to give, and we know what happened last time when something gives. Tech now is defending these 2 spots with his
life.
Life? Yeah, I guess it's the life. I hope it's not his life. Oh, the send from Lane. Can he make it stick? Makes it stick as Tech now's got trouble. He is sliding all over the place. Matsuke has to be careful. He wanted to take it into Lane. Could not. He takes on the inside. Side by side almost going into not Damon Hill, Graham Hill. Damon's not good enough for a corner name here. As he's now side by side into Surtees. I'm sorry, Graham. Damon. Takes it into Surtees. Matsuke takes 2 positions in 3 corners. Just like that. As Tech now drops down into P10. And I'm not sure what, but he's got some issues right now.
The front of the car is bent in. I think he's definitely got some aero damage because he is very skaty on the corners. Like the front, well, I mean, there's no lights on. He should have lights at the moment, but he has none. And the front of the car looks like it's been a bit punted in, so he's definitely hit the wall at some stage. But more trouble for Tristan Iglesias. He's now down in 3rd, and he's 13 seconds behind the race leader. Harry Woodhead, in about 3 minutes' time, if he keeps this up, will be your race winner for race 2.
That will be a story. Now, what's happened to Iglesias though? Something must have happened on that last lap. Do we see anything out of the ordinary? No. So what on earth's happened?
Probably
we'll
have a Spinella.
It must be a Simbella, but I cannot see it for the life of me, unfortunately. Yep, cannot see it. Oh, I see. Oh, that's not a Simbella. He's hit the grass going into Sterling, and as he's corrected, he's hit the wall. He's gone inside to outside there. That's a weird one. He still had P3 as Woodland now. 156, 155 remaining in the race, so this would be our second to last lap. It's Woodhead, 3.5 seconds from Copper is 10 seconds ahead of Iglesias, and Iglesias 6 seconds ahead of Jack Hills. The top 5, there isn't a battle at the moment, and Matsuke, this man, we've got to keep an eye on him because he is still on this charge. He's 1.5 seconds away from Costa, who's in P7.
So Costa, by the way, I think he has the AF Corsa, well, a style of the AF Corsa. If you follow the GTEs at Le Mans, the AF Corsa guys, they run a quite similar livery, so it's really nice to see. And he is chasing Marius Jank, so it's a amateur versus amateur, but in the background, just behind the shop there, is Tim Matsky, who is he's pushing that car to the raggedy edge. He's pushing that Audi R8 to the raggedy edge, and he's caught up to the rear of James Costa. And so James Costa is now under threat from the mean machine that is the car number 8. And let's see what Matsky can do. Where does he make the overtake? Because it's just a matter of when at the moment. Because he's on a charge.
Is Matsuki. He has been up and down this race. It's been crazy, and he is still going as they're coming down Dingle into Sheens. I don't think he'll make a move into Sterling, but I could be wrong. Actually, I am wrong. Just like that, he makes it easy. And now he's got Janke 1.5 seconds in front of him as the clock grinds down to 0, and we see the track starting to haze up a little bit. Woodland is in Hill, 3.5 seconds away from Copper, ahead of Copper, sorry. He's got to do touch wood. I'm touching the wood if you can hear it. Just keep it on the track, and he will have a victory.
Coming from 3rd in the first race to 1st in the second race, can you think of a better way to celebrate the press day? I'm beaming just looking at this car going around. I think it's great. The greatest race in both races.
I think it would be great to have. We've got a pro winning one race and an amateur winning the second race. It's fantastic to see. I've got to give it up though. Matt Heatrick has made 20 positions up in this race in the Ferrari at the back. And Joshua May has made 24, just driving his races. Oh, that's Taylor Laneoff. That is Taylor Laneoff as well. He spun at Sterling on his own. He's gone way too wide at Sterling, caught the grass and spun. But it's this man coming down the Brabant Straight to pick up the win in race 2. It's the amateur, the number 6, Harry Woodhead, takes the win in race 2 at the press day, with Oscar Copper just coming behind him into P3. We see a couple stragglers who are lap down as Tristan Iglesias. He started strong, couple mistakes. He does finish P3 though. He was that far ahead. That was the pace he set all race, and a couple mistakes just cost him the win there. And Jack Hills will take P4 with Radshawn just behind taking P5.
Harry Woodhead is the winner of the second race today, and what a well-deserved win that was. I'm speechless. Like, he just drove his heart out and just kept up with the big boys. And what else is there to say? He's an absolute man machine behind the wheel.
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, he's a driver that just out of nowhere just took everything. Now, you know, the media will say it was a one-trick pony. It was only because he knows Brands Hatch. I'm pretty sure this kid knows more than Brands Hatch. He just really showed off his speed there today. Looking forward to seeing him. Now, we can't say he would dominate the amateur division because Jack Hill's in P4, and then you've got Marius Janke into P6. So it's a nice mix at the top of pro and AMs. It always went AM Pro, AM Pro, AM Pro. Actually, it did for the top 8 positions.
It went AM Pro, Pro, AM Pro, AM Pro, AM.
Alright.
So.
Alright, I can't read.
But that is the end of race 2. So let's go over the results for race 2 then, shall we?
I'm just waiting for the build-up. I will start it off then. Harry Woodhead takes the win. Behind him is Oscar Copper. Christian Iglesias will take P3. Jack Kills into P4. Pascal Radshawn into P5. Marius Janke into P6 with Tim Matske coming back and up and down 3 times to get P7. James Costa will take P8. Matt Heatrick makes 20 positions up to finish P21 to finish P9, with Linus Tech now taking 10th. Taylor Lane takes P11. Joshua Mayer makes up 24 positions to take 12th. James Pierce 13th. Christian Miles 14th. Chris Hamer 15th. Harry Wills 16th. Simon Marshall will take 17th. Ben Smith will take 18th. Casper Johansson 19th and Jack Wells 20th. Following cars are a lap down. Marcus Bailey in 21st. Marcus Soderman in 22nd. Simon Dodd 23rd. Sebastian Ryan 24th. Adam Miles 25th. 2 laps down was Martin Devlin in 26th. Robert Odams finished 9 laps down into 27th. Rick Cohen 11 laps down in 28th. Carl Gray and Sebastian Kurtzman 14 laps down in 29th and 30th respectively. Josh Seymour 15 laps down in 31st. Andrew Miller 19 laps down in 32nd. Isaac Barkley 33rd, it was 21 laps down, as is Miles Stumpf in 34th and Henry Dunn Durian in 35th. And Neil Butler crashed on the first lap and finished in 36th place.
Oh, what do you think of that, Craig? What was your immediate thought at the end? Those 2 races, absolutely top driving from these lot. I'm very excited to see what the season will bring.
I mean, my throat's a little bit sore after that crazy moment during the middle of the race, where like basically 5th to 10th basically just traded positions and played bumper cars. Now I wouldn't say it was questionable driving; it was just how close they were driving. That was crazy to see. I lost all. When you lose all sense of what on earth's happening on the track, that must say something. Because we didn't know what was going on, did we? One moment we're looking at P6 taking P5, and behind us P7's got a spin because P8 just tapped him a little bit, and P10's coming up to take him. And went, oh no, P10's now gone off. It was crazy.
I'm trying to even just sum up what I feel about the entire race, other than brilliant. The amount of moves that were made during that race, and there was carnage at turn 1, but I mean the close wheel-to-wheel racing and the it was touches, little kisses, definitely put you on the edge of your seat, and it's a kudos to all the drivers being able to put on a show like that. and bloody fantastic. Thank you guys for such an entertaining race. But Craig, before we send it off and let the drivers go to their briefing, who was your driver of the day?
Of the whole 2 races? That's interesting. I mean, I'll just run down. We had some good racing from Radshawn. Copper did some good fighting. Great thing from Heat Trick there, fighting back after the first race. You got to talk about Tim Matskey. He went up and down so much after winning the first race comfortably, but got to give it to that man that won the second race, Harry Woodhead, because you don't just fight with the big boys into a great first race and then fight back up the field after the reverse grid to come and win the race. So Harry Woodhead overall for the whole day is my driver of the day.
Oh, I mean, he's my driver of the day in a absolute heartbeat. And congratulations to him for getting third in the first race and first a checkered flag in the second race. But I think we'll call it there for us in the broadcasting booth. What do you say, Craig, after a really good race?
Hey, I'm a YouTube shield. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. But no, seriously, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight. It's been great fun. If you like us, just like I said, like and subscribe. We will be back for our own broadcasting on Sunday night, but we will be back. I got to give a sponsor to shout out to Racing Sim Rigs as well. I know you just put the sponsor up. I got to give a shout out to them. We will be back Friday night for ILMS, but if you want more of this league, we'll be back next week, I believe, for the 90-minute race at Spa-Francorchamps. That's Spa, because I can't do Belgium, but we will be back for the 90-minute race at Spa, which promises to be a blinder because GT3s at Spa. Ooh, there's a reason why there's a 24-hour endurance race.
And that's a great way to end it off, guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Enjoy yourselves wherever you are in the world. Come back to us next Wednesday for the first race broadcast. And check us out on Friday and Sunday for Friday ILMS, Sunday for GT1 Fanatec GT Challenge. Until then, guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a good evening. And stay safe.